I'm going to coin a phrase today, and hopefully it catches on. And the phrase is punch buggy racist. And this is what happens with a punch buggy racist.
Punch buggy racist.
My name is Dean Haystack, the Dean, and you're listening to The Coffee Conversation.
So something happened the other day on SAFM. Stephen Grootes made this statement to a listener who had called in. He said, I never see black on white racism on the media and in social media. The only racism we see is white on black racism. That is a punch buggy racist statement. Like the game Punch Buggy, a punch buggy racist is somebody who specifically looks out to find incidents of racism, even though it's actually very rare in the country because they have an agenda. Punch Buggy is a game that you play with the kids in the car. You look for a Volkswagen Beetle, which is rare. You don't see them often, and that's why it's fun. Because if it was Punch Buggy Taz, everybody would be black and blue by the end of the trip from work to home. So you look for these rare cars, and the first person to see one on the road shouts out Punch Buggy and is allowed to punch their partner or person sitting next to them on the arm or on the leg. And it's a lot of fun because there's not a lot of Beetles on the road. Now, the first thing that happens when you start playing the game is that you suddenly don't notice the other cars that are on the road. You see them, but you don't notice them. They're there. There's thousands of them, but you only see the Volkswagen Beetle. The second thing that happens is you start to assume that there are a heck of a lot of Volkswagen Beetles on the road, when in reality there actually aren't. And this is what happens with a punch buggy racist. They ignore all the other stuff, even the good stuff that's happening in South Africa, and they focus on the racism. So something happened the other day on SAFM. Stephen Grootes made this statement to a listener who had called in. He said, I never see black on white racism on the media and in social media. The only racism we see is white on black racism. That is a punch buggy racist statement. He made it at the same time that a young 21-year-old man was murdered by two black people purely because of the color of his skin, and was hung on a fence to be displayed for what they've done. I don't even know if Stephen Grootes has called it a racially motivated murder. Now, fortunately, like Volkswagen Beetles, there are so few incidents of racism in South Africa, but these punch buggy racists seek it out in order to punch buggy racist call when it is, to make it seem like there is so much more racism in South Africa than what there really is. Now, for a journalist and a presenter to do this, somebody from SABC has not been called out. Can you imagine Stephen Grootes said the reverse, that there's more black on white racism, what the outcry would be? Can you imagine Stephen Grootes said even that there was more black on white racism in South Africa, even in the apartheid years? Surely there is a code of conduct that should actually speak against such divisive and in fact hate speech. Stephen Grootes, I think unless you apologize for that statement, you should be ashamed to call yourself a journalist and embarrassed to be a presenter, because it is totally untrue that you can make that statement at the same time that racially motivated murders are happening, and they are few and far between. I think you should just think about, maybe consider that you're a punch buggy racist and start looking at all the cars on the road and start reporting objectively, which you are paid to do by us, the taxpayer. My name is Dean Haystack, and I'm just a guy who gives a damn. I've been told that I need to remind everybody to like or subscribe or hit the little bell thingy. Don't know what the little bell thingy is, but hit the little bell thingy. That's apparently the YouTube thing to do.